Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents This Foreign Affair by Harper Bliss. Narrated by Angela Dawe. Chapter 1.
"You're here bright and early this morning,"
Josephine says before I can even place my order. "Walk of shame?" Mickey butts in. "Christ, ladies, I'll have a coffee first. We can talk after." Mickey looks at her watch. "I've never seen you here this early." Josephine elbows her in the biceps.
"A large black coffee for Zoya, please."
"Coming right up." Mickey gets busy with the coffee machine. "How are you today, Jo?" I ask.
"Very well, thank you."
I suppose it's out of the question for me to call Caitlin at this ungodly hour and ask her to join me.
"You can try, but she wasn't awake when I left."
She quirks up her eyebrows. I wave my credit card over the terminal to pay for my coffee. "I won't bother then." I check my phone in case I missed a text message while ordering. The screen is blank. Myrtle is sick, and there appears to be a bit of a problem in my Airbnb down the street. The new occupant arrived late last night and is complaining the smoke detector is beeping every few seconds. I promised to change the batteries first thing. "Here you go." Mickey hands me my coffee. "If I lived in Darlinghurst, I could have stopped by last night." "Such a pity you don't know anyone in the area." Mickey smirks. "Very funny. They arrived after midnight. I wasn't going to rouse any of you because my caretaker was sick, was I?" "Thank goodness for that," Mickey replies. Rebecca used to deal with all of this, I want to say, but swallow the words because I don't want to talk about my ex. It's too early in the morning for that particular kind of grievance. I'll become your neighbor soon enough. I sip from the coffee. Just need to sort out some stuff first. A sudden breakup from your partner of 16 years is emotionally harrowing enough, even without all the practical things to arrange. Assets to divide, and figure out who gets which souvenir from that trip to Tasmania. As far as I'm concerned, Rebecca can have it all, as long as I never have to see her face again. My lawyer disagrees. "One of the houses in my street is for sale," Mickey says. I perk up my ears. "Really?" "Yeah, I'll get you the number of the agent. You should check it out." Well, maybe I will. My phone buzzes. Here we go. I check the message. Time to go. I drain my coffee, give Mickey and Josephine a wave, and make my way to the apartment I own but haven't set foot in for months. The apartment is above a hair salon, which is still closed. I suppose no one wants to get their hair cut before 8 in the morning. I take the stairs to the first floor and knock gently on the door, shuffling my weight from foot to foot. I never wanted to own a bloody Airbnb. Another thing I resent Rebecca for, just add it to the pile. The door flies open and a woman stands in front of me. She's tall and has cheekbones for days, but what I notice most of all are her eyes. Not the color, but how they sparkle with something. I hope it's not rage. I think it best to immediately launch into an apology. "I'm so sorry about this." I give her my widest TV smile and hold out my hand. "Hi, I'm Zoya, your smoke detector battery replacer for today." The woman looks at my hand for a split second, then takes it in hers and gives it a quick, firm shake, her fingers squeezing tightly. "Camille." She steps aside to let me in. I look around. A high-pitched beep startles me. "It's been like that all night," Camille says with a heavy French accent. Her hands are on her hips. "Not exactly conducive to a good night's sleep." "I can imagine. Let me take care of this." I look up at the smoke detector. A red light blinks. I don't remember the ceiling being so high. Is there a ladder somewhere in this building? This whole scene is making me feel extremely inadequate. Rebecca was always the handy, super-organized one, a skill that allowed her to organize her affair around our life together for more than a year. I was just the fool who didn't have a clue. Just when I think I'm putting the whole sordid ordeal behind me, something like this happens to remind me of it. This apartment was Rebecca's project from the start. Why it is up to me to deal with it now remains a mystery. I scan the kitchen for a chair. I step out of my shoes and balance on it precariously. Camille scrutinizes my every move. I raise my hands, but I can't reach the ceiling. I climb off the chair. Looks like we're going to need something higher. She gives me a look I can't decipher.
I'll try. I'm taller than you.
Thanks. Why don't we keep spare batteries in this apartment? I'll have to talk to Myrtle. Or just sell the damn place. Then I wouldn't be standing here in bare feet in front of a woman who's probably pretty pissed off at me, although she hides it quite well. I watch her clamber upon the chair. She does it gracefully, as if balancing on a piece of furniture is all she does in life. She stands on tiptoe and can just reach the outer shell of the smoke detector with her fingertips. Careful. I steady the chair for her. She's already screwed off the outer casing.
Hand me the batteries.
I try to pull the package open, but as always with these things, it's hard to find a spot to pierce it, and I have to tear at it with all my might. I finally manage to pry out 2 batteries. Her fingers touch when I hold them up to her. She drops the old batteries in my palm, and all the while, balancing on the tips of her toes, replaces the batteries and screws the lid on again. I hold out my hand to her for support when she climbs back down, and she takes it. At least I've done something.
That wasn't so hard, was it? She says.
I shake my head. I'm mortified, really. I will reimburse you for the night. The person who usually takes care of this is indisposed at the moment, and as you've clearly noticed, I'm not very good at any of this. She waves me off.
Just an idea. Keep some spare batteries in a kitchen drawer, perhaps? I could have done this myself last night if I'd had the necessary equipment.
I can't apologize enough. You must be so tired. How about I take you out for coffee? Show you what's where in the neighborhood? My earlobes flush. I don't even know the area that well. The best I can do is take her to the Pink Bean and hope Kristen is there to tell her all about Darlinghurst's best spots. Camille ponders my question.
Okay, she says. Give me 5 minutes.
She heads into the bathroom. I put the chair back and leave the remaining batteries on the kitchen counter. Maybe when I see the real estate agent to view the house Mickey was talking about, I can ask her to come take a look at this place. Or maybe I should just move in here. I glance around. No, I couldn't. Rebecca's touch is all over the decor. That turquoise contrast wall in the living area, the photograph of an outback road in Queensland to my right. It used to hang in our house, until she redecorated it and relocated it here.
I'm ready for that coffee.
Camille exits the bathroom with a smile. Chapter 2. The Pink Bean is too busy for Mickey and Josephine to ask me prying questions, so they have to content themselves with inquisitive stares, which I ignore. I buy coffee and a couple of croissants, and Camille and I sit. How long are you staying in Sydney? I ask. She chuckles.
I'm staying in your rental apartment. You should know.
I shake my head. It's a long story why I don't have a clue about any of this.
So I can stay as long as I like.
Camille tips her cup back.
You wouldn't even notice.
I probably wouldn't. I push the plate with croissants in her direction.
Thanks, I'm famished.
She picks one up and tears off a corner. Before she puts it in her mouth, she says,
Croissants in Sydney are surprisingly not disappointing.
You're the expert, I guess. I look at her as she chews. She seems so at ease, so unperturbed by what happened. Are you here for work or pleasure?
Definitely pleasure.
She nods slowly.
I flew in from Brisbane last night. I've spent the past 2 months in your beautiful country. Sydney is my last stop before I go back to France.
Ah, that's why you're so zen. She slants her head.
Perhaps. Only a week left to relax.
Her cheeks dimple when she grins. Where in France are you from?
Paris.
She pronounces it the French way.
Born and bred. But as much as I love it, sometimes you just need to get away.
If you can, then yes, I guess. I wish I could have run away from Sydney after Rebecca told me she was leaving me.
I believe that if you really want to, you can.
She rips off another piece of croissant.
Are you sick of Sydney?
Her eyes bore into me. Not Sydney so much as certain people who live here. She purses her lips together and nods.
I think I know exactly what you mean. But let me guess. Your children and your job prevent you from going away for a longer time. And your Airbnb property, of course.
She follows up with a chuckle. I laugh at her dig. No children, but my job is pretty demanding.
Whose isn't these days?
She sighs. It's refreshing to talk to an interesting woman who at first glance looks like she could be the perfect demographic for my TV show but doesn't have a clue of who I am. What do you do?
I work for the CNRS, the Centre National de la Recherche Scientifique. I advise the French government on scientific matters.
That sounds important.
It's a big responsibility. Of course, my advice gets ignored half the time, but I take my position very seriously.
She curls her lips into a smile.
But one of my mantras for this trip was to talk about work as little as possible, even though it's inevitable when you travel alone, meet people, and make casual conversation. It's usually the first thing that comes up.
That's the world we live in. We're defined not by who we are, but what we do.
Very true.
She holds up her hands.
So, please excuse me for asking, but what is it that you do?
I'm a television presenter. I interview people.
Like a chat show?
Not even a cool French woman can resist perking up at finding out she's sitting across from someone who gets her face on television. A bit more in-depth than that. My show is not a promotion vehicle for actors and the like. We have one guest per week, and the actual interview takes hours to produce. The research takes weeks.
You must know a whole lot about many people, then.
She leans back in her chair. Too much at times. I smile at Camille. I like her. There's something very disarming about her.
Do you get recognized all the time?
Not that much, actually, and this is not America. People are still pretty discreet. And my show doesn't have a big viewership among the selfie generation. Camille jots out her lip and nods.
Looks like I have some Googling to do.
There should be complimentary Wi-Fi in the apartment, I say. I hope it's working.
It is.
She cracks a smile.
Don't feel too bad about the smoke detector. Your place is really nice. This is coming from someone who has sampled a vast array of accommodation all over the country the past couple of months. I wanted a really nice place to stay for my last stop, and I'm not disappointed.
Thanks for saying that. I make eye contact for a brief moment.
So please explain to me how a TV personality is sitting here having coffee with me this morning after trying to change batteries in the smoke detector. Somehow it doesn't compute.
I'm a very down-to-earth kind of girl who likes to get her hands dirty. Camille seems like the sort of person who can appreciate a joke.
Right.
She nods, her face serious.
I could tell as soon as you climbed onto that chair. Such confidence.
We both chuckle. The person who usually deals with all of this for me has pneumonia, poor thing.
Good morning, Zoya and friend.
Kristen appears next to our table.
Can I get you anything else?
I jump at the opportunity to introduce Camille to Kristen, who knows everything there is to know about Darlinghurst, where to drink, where to eat, and where to have coffee, of course. While they chat, I consider asking Kristen if she wants to buy the flat. She is the kind of person who would have everything in perfect working order all the time. And she and Cheryl only live 3 feet away. Then my mind wanders to this afternoon's mediation meeting with Rebecca and our respective lawyers. If only I could send someone else to sort that all out for me as well. Kristen asks Camille to stop by after the morning rush so she can give her some more information and says goodbye. We both follow her with our eyes as she heads to the counter. Just then, Cheryl appears for her morning coffee before she heads to work. She kisses Kristen fully on the mouth.
Oh,
Camille says. If you hadn't noticed yet, Darlinghurst is extremely gay-friendly.
I only arrived late last night.
Camille has suddenly lost some of her easy conversation skills.
I didn't really get a chance to notice.
I hope I'm not sitting across from a homophobe. She may look like the nicest woman on the planet. It wouldn't mean a thing. I've heard the vilest things come from the mouths of the most educated, cultured-looking people. Hatred comes in all sorts of disguises.
You seem to know the owner well. Do you live around here?
Camille has apparently regrouped. Not yet, but I plan to. Cheryl, Kristen's partner. I nod in the direction of the counter where Cheryl is waiting for her takeaway cup. And I have a good friend in common who moved to Darlinghurst 6 months ago, and I've been jealous ever since. It's time for a change of scenery for me anyway. I think of our house in Balmain, how empty and big it feels when I come home these days.
I can recommend taking a few months off. It does wonders for your perspective, Camille says. It helps that Australians are possibly the friendliest people I've come across.
We do our best. I give her a wide smile.
Have you lived in Sydney all your life?
I grew up in Perth, where most of my family still live. My great-grandparents immigrated here from India.
I went to Perth, Camille says, at the beginning of my trip, which feels like 2 years instead of 2 months ago.
My phone starts ringing in my bag. Sorry, it's probably work. I check the screen and the name of my lawyer comes up. Zoya, can we do 2 instead of 3 this afternoon? She's a matter-of-fact woman who has no time for pleasantries. I'm asking on behalf of Miss Firth's lawyer. I exhale a deep sigh. Sure, let's get it over with as quickly as possible. Okay, see you then. She hangs up. Typical, I murmur under my breath.
Everything okay?
Camille inquires. All part of that long story I hinted at earlier, my ex driving me up the wall. I try to block out the negative thoughts by folding my lips into a big smile. It doesn't really work, but the story of my separation from Rebecca is not something to impose on my Airbnb guest. I should probably leave you to it now. I took the day off so I could mentally prepare for this meeting. I haven't seen Rebecca in months. You have my number. Please call me if you need anything at all. I rise, and so does Camille.
Thank you for the coffee and croissants. I appreciate the gesture.
While we shake hands, I say, maybe I'll see you around before you leave. If not, I hope you have a wonderful stay. Our hands linger. I glance at her face, so pleasant and relaxed, one more time, then head out the door. Chapter 3.
Can we talk in private?
Rebecca asks after the meeting has drawn to a close. I tuned out for most of it. Even though Rebecca and I are not legally married, we own a house together and everything we have is tangled up with each other. But she's the one who cheated, left me, and moved out. For my lawyer, it seems to make all the difference as to who gets what. But I'm not interested in hanging on to any material possessions we shared. Neither is she, apparently. She was quick to agree to sell the house. Now that we've both signed the agreement, we can finally put it on the market. I can move on for real. When we bought the rental apartment, the accountant advised us to put it in my name, so I'm stuck with that. Rebecca didn't even flinch when it came up in the meeting, even though she's the one who did all the work. She's probably feeling guilty. Yeah, sure, I say.
Do you want to go for a coffee?
Do you have time for that? You asked to move the meeting an hour earlier.
Because I wanted to have time for a chat with you. We haven't talked in so long.
I scoff. And whose fault is that? I hope she doesn't spin me a line asking me to remain friends or something outrageous like that.
Maybe something stronger than coffee?
Fine. We say goodbye to our lawyers, who are getting a big fat check for not doing much at all, seeing as at least this part of our separation is very amicable. It's the other, non-material parts that have been the most violent. I follow Rebecca to a bar down the street, suspecting her of having scouted it beforehand because she doesn't even have to look around to find a place for us to have that drink. How's Julie? I ask, my voice dripping with sarcasm.
What can I get you, Chardonnay?
She ignores my question. I nod and watch her walk off. It still hurts. It's been almost 6 months now, but there walks a woman I believed I knew through and through. A woman who told me she loved me nearly every day of our life together. A woman who lied. A woman who broke my heart into 1,000,000 pieces. The worst part of it all is, after she'd been sleeping with Julie for close to a year and finally had found the courage to tell me, and leave me in the process, she made it sound as though it was all my fault. She returns with 2 wine glasses filled to the brim. To it officially all being over, I raise my glass. Rebecca doesn't raise her glass, she just drinks.
Thanks for being so agreeable about all the legal stuff.
It's not because I'm a scorned woman that I have to behave like one. Rebecca cocks her head.
Do you think we can have a conversation without the sarcasm?
Oh, are you going to be the mature one this time?
Please, I'm begging you, Zoya. I just want to talk. We just divided our assets. Can we just be civilized for 10 minutes?
Fine. I look away. The bar is empty this time of the day.
I just wanted to check in with you, see how you're doing,
Rebecca says. When I look into her eyes, it's as though I can see all the good times we had together. We were so happy for such a long time. Was I really the one who fucked it all up? Who drove her into the arms of another woman? Maybe I should take a sabbatical, get out of the country for a bit. Maybe travel through India, connect with my roots.
I still worry about you, even though we're not together anymore,
Rebecca says. How nice of you. The words just come out. I have no idea how to curb my bitter tongue. Do you worry about me when you and Julie change the channel when my show comes on? Do you worry about me when you fall asleep with your arm around her? Every time she fills the space I used to take up in your life?
You're clearly not ready for this.
I don't think I'll ever be.
I've apologized so many times already. I can't see how me saying I'm sorry again will help, so I'm kind of at the end of my wits here.
Rebecca drinks from her wine in long gulps. What do you want from me? Why are we even sitting here? Can't you see it's just one big reminder of how things used to be before you-know-who?
Julie is my partner now, Zoya.
She sighs.
And you keep referring to how things used to be, but I think you're forgetting that in the end they were not that great.
Oh, here we go again.
No, here you go again.
This was clearly a mistake. I push the glass of wine away.
Clearly.
Rebecca looks like she's had enough as well. It's strange to think that there used to be a time, not even so long ago, that we couldn't get enough of each other's company, that we believed we'd be together forever. How quickly things can change.
I don't want things to be like this between us.
She injects some softness into her voice.
You are still important to me.
Maybe you should have thought of that before you started banging someone else. I get up. And it's easy for you to say what you want and how I'm still important to you and yada 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 when you get to go home to your new girlfriend after this, and all I have is an empty house in which everything reminds me of us. You left me with nothing, and you took my self-esteem along with you as well. I curse myself for the last sentence. I know it's hard. Her voice breaks. I hadn't exactly expected to find myself single again on the cusp of 50.
I know. But you're Zoya Das. You must have women lining up for you.
Please, don't give me that superficial bullshit. You're only saying it to make yourself feel better anyway, to ease your guilt, because the fact remains that you cheated on me for an entire year. Well, guess what? You will always be guilty of that, and no matter how many times you say you're sorry, I will never forgive you for it. I hear some shuffling behind the bar. The bartender is looking in our direction. I'd better go. I'll let you know when an offer comes in for the house. Rebecca is silent. It reminds me of the silence she shrouded herself in as she was packing her things after she first told me. That fateful day my whole life came crumbling down. I wanted to strangle and kiss her at the same time, I say.
Maybe you should take another one of Amber's yoga classes. Even Josephine is a fan now,
Caitlin says as she presents me with a tumbler of whiskey. Oh, sure, me lined up next to a bunch of happy lesbian couples. I mean, even you are monogamous now, for crying out loud. What does the world come to? Caitlin rolls her eyes.
Aw, poor Zoya Das, poor little rich girl.
She shoots me a look over the rim of her glass.
I understand you're upset. Today was an emotional day, and Rebecca truly fucked you over. But you need to move on.
Move on? And pretend I didn't just split from the love of my life? Pretend it doesn't still hurt me every minute of every day?
Yes. You'll have to pretend at first. But have a fling at least. Do something that makes you feel good about yourself, that makes you feel desired. It works wonders for the self-esteem.
I'm not like you, Caitlin. No offense.
Definitely none taken, my dear friend.
I used to be so many things to her, and now someone else is. And that hurts. It makes me feel so replaceable, so insignificant. And sometimes I even think she was right to blame it all on me.
At the moment, I'm not a big Rebecca fan because she treated you so disrespectfully, but I really don't think she blamed it all on you.
You know what I mean. Caitlin shakes her head.
You know my view on this.
Yeah, well, where were you when I needed your help with all of this? Shagging your way across the United States, no doubt. I glance at Caitlin from under my lashes. My bitterness might be getting the best of me.
How long has it been?
What?
When was the last time you got laid, sister?
Caitlin puts on a funny accent. I scoff. Good question, actually. I follow up with a shrug.
I guarantee you will feel so much better about yourself, and you'll stop attacking me, your good friend, after you've had another woman's hands all over you.
Oh my God. It's my time to roll my eyes. Like sex is the solution to everything. I'm so sick of hearing that.
Suit yourself.
Caitlin puts her glass down.
Maybe you're not ready, although I'm a big believer in not waiting until you think you might be.
I wouldn't even know where to start. I can't just go to a bar and pick someone up.
Why not?
Caitlin challenges me. From the look on her face, I can tell she's getting some glee out of this, or she already knows what I'm going to answer. You know why.
Don't tell me because you're Zoya Das. If anything, it will help.
I shake my head. You know I'm not really one for one-night stands.
It's never too late to change your mind about these things.
Caitlin, I respect your choices, but I have my own views on sex and monogamy. We've had this conversation so many times before.
Basically, what you're saying is that you want to wait until you fall in love again. From where I'm sitting, it looks like that might take a good long while. You're a long way from being over Rebecca.
No matter what she says, for me, it just came so out of the blue, you know?
Yeah.
But that's enough about me. I need to refocus my attention. Let's talk about you. How are things with you and Jo?
Good, though she works too much. She's got 2 singing gigs this weekend, and...
My phone beeps, indicating I received a text message. I try to ignore it. Caitlin looks at my phone, then back at me.
Jo and I are doing fine. I really have nothing to complain about.
My phone beeps again because I haven't read the message yet. Sorry, let me just have a look. I feel a bit pissed at myself because I'm usually the first one to scold anyone too glued to their phone to conduct a proper conversation. I Googled you, the message says. And now I would really like to see you again, Camille. A smile stretches across my face.
What is it?
Caitlin asks. The woman who's staying in the rental. I met her this morning. She says she would really like to see me again. Caitlin holds up her hands.
There you go. Just as we're talking about it, the perfect opportunity presents itself. It must be serendipity.
I don't know. I make a mental note to Google myself later just to see what Camille has dug up on me. Probably all the salacious details of my split from Rebecca.
Tell me about her,
Caitlin asks. She's French. Has been traveling through Australia for the past 2 months. She has some government science job. That's about all I know.
Is she cute?
Cute. She's a French woman.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?